just because the goals are delayed, that doesn't mean the goals are diminished. I feel like right now in this day and age, it's just like, we are very powered by social media. We're powered by comparison. And like, you've heard this line before. It's like comparison is the thief of joy.
Hey, what's up? What's good? And welcome to the inaugural episode of the press conference. I'm your host, Lundy Boy, and today chopping it up with your boy is none other than the son of Kendall and Christy Rucker, straight from Hartwell, Georgia, 2020 graduate. He was first team All-Region, first team All-State, 2018 8 AAA Region Defensive Player of the Year, Top Dog Award winner, going to the best player on the squad, a captain as a sophomore. Started and voted as captain of the 2017 GACA All-Star Game. Defensive line MVP honors at the opening regionals in Charlotte. Named 8 AAA Defensive Player of the Year and earned first team All-State honors as a junior. A 3-star prospect and top 80 nationally at his position. Earned a scholarship to North Carolina and was second team All-ACC in 2023. Walter Camp National Player of the Week and ACC Defensive Lineman of the Week in that year also. He's known for his powerful presence on the defensive line and terrorizing quarterbacks in the ACC. With his relentless work ethic, exceptional athleticism, and his unwavering faith, he has developed into a leader on and off the field. And most importantly, he is an amazing young man. It is my pleasure to introduce to some and present to many, Mr. Kaimon Rucker, aka Ruck the Butcher. How you doing, my guy?
I'm good, man. That was one heck of an introduction, man.
Hey, man, we're gonna hop right into it, man. I like to start off with a few questions to break the ice, man. Let's do a couple would you rathers. Are you cool with that?
Do it.
All right, let's do it, man. First one, sports would you rather? Would you rather have a record-breaking individual season or win a natty?
Gotta win that natty.
Hey, I'm with you on that, man. That's got to be a special occasion, and ain't number one national champion every year, my guy. I feel you, man. Hey, great team player there. All right, so this was a little bit different, man. Would you rather be completely invisible for a day or be able to fly for a day?
I ain't gonna lie, man. I'd rather fly.
So what you gonna do when you fly? You plan on going somewhere or what?
Man, we can go anywhere. We can do
that's true.
But it would take about now I don't know how fast we flying. That's breaking down the question too much. But we can make a day trip into a 10-minute trip depending on how fast we flying. So I mean, shoot, invisibility, we can do what the old folks do. I'm trying to stay out the way. So they basically invisible. So, I ain't gotta have that ability, but flying.
Man, that's what's up, man. Hey, that's a great answer. Great answer, my guy. So here go a question for you. This is a good one, I thought. Would you rather have the wisdom of Solomon or the strength of Samson?
Wisdom of Solomon. The strength can always go away, but the wisdom can stay forever.
Man, you got your head on straight, man. Solomon was that guy that had the wisdom of God, and when you got God's wisdom on your side, my guy, nothing, man. It's just unlimited, man. Great answer, my guy. Last one, man. Last one, because I heard you a singer. So I had to put one in here. So it said, would you rather sing a duet with your favorite artist or sing a solo in front of a sold-out arena?
You know what? I'm gonna sing that duet because I know we can sell out arenas together. So,
man, you got the answers, my guy. I love it, man. Hey, that's what's up. Tell me about your upbringing, the foundation that it provided to you and to get you where you are today?
Shoot, I mean, Kendall and Christy Rucker, man, they are the foundation of who I am. They have instilled a lot of character, a lot of values. They have instilled faith in me at a very young age. And, they just really, they have physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually just guided me in every right way possible. And of course, just keeping God in the forefront, just allowing me just to be my own man as well. Just growing up, I didn't have any siblings. So really, it was genuinely my mom and my dad was all I had. And so, they supported me in everything. I was very involved in sports at a very young age. I did football to start off with. When I got to middle school, I did track, I did wrestling, I did, of course, when I got older, I started trying out different things. I did basketball for years. Like I was very, active as a kid. And so, and obviously football was something that I really took seriously, not until I got to my sophomore year when I started taking it seriously. But, I'm a family person. My family's always been huge to me. They mean to the world to me. And not only my mom and my dad, but just like, my cousins, my uncles, my aunts, and, my god brothers, my just everything, man. They mean the world to me. I do everything for them. And, they just like family is really my foundation and just how my upbringing is, man. And just, I feel like my family is the reason why I am the way that I am, shaped me into the man that I am today, because without them, man, I don't know what my identity would have been in, but, they just really have set so many great values, so many great characteristics, so many great wisdom of truths inside, and, just allowed me to carry it with me, not only at that age. I didn't see it at that age at the time, but as I've gotten older, hindsight is 2020. But just looking back over it, man, they have instilled so many great things into my life, man, stuff that I can carry on for as long as God allows me to live. And, they just really are the reason why I am the way I am.
Man, that's awesome, man. So it seems like family has definitely helped you and shaped you and given you the path. So, Kaimon, hey, if you got time, I got time. Let's talk about it. Hey, so tell me about your Bible study that you lead on IG, and how important you already touched on your faith, man. How important is your faith to you? And tell me about that Bible study that you lead, man.
Yeah, so it really started off as like an Instagram live thing, and it was between me, a teammate that ran track and field, Michael Spragley, and then it was also one of my teammates, Elijah Green, as well. And then we had another dude that ran track and field, but his name was Craig Sadler. He also did that with us as well. But we just kind of started off just like, just creating that safe space for student athletes that are taking their walk with Christ very seriously. And so, one thing that we also wanted to get across as well is like, we're student athletes, man. We human at the end of the day. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to fall down. But the thing is, God is always going to reach his hand out to help us right back up. And so we just wanted to create that transparency. We wanted to create that vulnerability, the authenticity, just let people know like, hey, like we people too, just because we student athletes, that doesn't mean we still don't deal with what everybody else deals with. And so, we started that up, I think early last year, if I'm not mistaken. And, everybody just kind of like doing their own thing now. And so it's like, Sprague, he's in his master's program doing his thing. He's retired from track and field, but he's still doing his thing on social media. He's actually an artist as well. So he's doing his thing in music and doing his thing in the master's program. My boy Elijah, he is transferred to Indiana University, plays running back number 21. So if you want to check him out, they actually ranked number 16. So check Indiana out. So that's my boy EG as well. And then my boy Craig Sadler, he runs track and field. Man, he is a national All-American, and he has done his thing in the 400-meter hurdles and all the other events that he's done. So it's just like everybody's just doing their own thing. And so, I just kind of like, I still wanted to keep God first. I still wanted to get involved. I still wanted to make my presence known on social media to let people know. It's just like, I still deal with the things that a lot of people deal with. So it's just like, that's when I kind of like went out and started doing just kind of like a minute and 30 devotionals, man, letting like, just verses that stuck out to me, verses that God has put on my heart, things that I feel like people needed to hear, and things that I needed to hear just because of me just talking about it, you know, because it's just like with me, in order for me to be a good teacher, I also had to be a good student as well. And so it's just like I had to really not only talk about what God has put in my heart, but I had to be about it as well, or something that I feel like I struggled with as a Christian, you know. And so because a lot of the lessons that I've talked about is not just because I'm doing it right and I'm the way that people are wanting me to do it or God that wants me to do it. This is stuff that I have struggled with, you know, like this stuff that, you know, I'm not just doing this because I'm looking down on y'all and making it seem like this is what y'all need to do. This is what God has taught y'all to do, which God teaching us to do things. This is what he's telling us that we need to do.
Correct.
I'm just as guilty as everybody else that may be feeling like they need to hear it, because I'm just speaking on what I've dealt with as well. And so you know, I feel like that was really the reason why I did it, is just because, you know, just not only to impact other people and use my platform to talk about my faith, talk about Christianity, to talk about my love for Jesus Christ. That, of course, that's all great things, but it was really to hold myself accountable as well, because this is something I need to carry on stuff with me for the rest of my life as well. Like, this is not just stuff that I'm just doing just to appease the masses or just to let people know that, hey, my name is Kaimon Rucker, I'm a Christian. That's not the reason why I'm doing this. The whole reason why I'm doing it is because I can hold myself accountable while also talking to other people as well. I'm preaching to the choir just as much as the God is talking to me, like, this is what you need to do. And so, you know, that's really the main reason why I'm doing it, man. And, you know, there's some things that I still mess up. There's some things I do to this day that I'm not necessarily proud of. As a Christian, I need to do better, and I need to take my walk with Christ a lot more seriously than I'm doing currently. But however, that doesn't mean that my faith it doesn't mean my faith has been shaken. I still believe in Jesus Christ. I still have faith in him and everything that he's done in my life up to this point and forever on. And, you know, there's always times where I'm going to be knocked down. But the thing is, like I said, God is always going to have that hand out to help me back up, to dust myself off, and to keep on going with the path that he has set forward for me.
Man, amen. Hey, brother, I can't even put it even better, man. Just to see a young man like yourself, you know, with that unwavering faith. And take me back to the beginning of your football journey. I don't know how far you want to go back. And when did you realize that, hey, man, I'm a D1 player, or I got the potential to go D1? Talk to me about that.
Yeah, you know, we can go as far back as when I was 7 years old. Dad signed me up for rec league. Football actually started off a thing that, you know, my dad wanted me to play it. You know, that's a crazy something that my dad wanted me to do it first. And so, you know, I was just like, you know, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make dad happy, stuff like that. Like, you know, for early on, like, football was something that I enjoyed it. I loved the people that was with it. I got to play with my friends. You know, like that was like the part, of course. But then, you know, where everything changed is when I kind of like hit my sophomore year of high school. I was playing O-line at the time, but it was just like, that's when I kind of took that that seriousness of football is when it really started to click a little bit. And, you know, around that time, after that year was over, I lost a lot of weight, gained a lot of muscle, and then I got faster. So it was just like, you know, at some point, of course, my dad being a nose guard in high school and in college, he was like, man, we need to put you on D-line. But hey, I'm cool with it. You know, outside linebacker, edge rusher, that sounds pretty smooth. And so, you know, we talked to coach, everything. And then, like, you know, I eventually started playing. And after that junior year, that's when I was like, shoot, we can go to the next level with this, you know? You know, that's really the journey right there. And then it's like,
that's
you know,
sweet, man.
Senior year, got North Carolina offer in one of their camps. I committed probably like a week and change later, and now I'm here.
Man, that's awesome, man. You there doing big things. How many offers did you have, man? I know this isn't a question. I just wonder, how many offers did you have?
I don't remember. I really don't. I had a lot of group of 5 schools that offered me. I think the only 2 Power 5 schools was Louisville and UNC. But like I had a lot of, like, you know, Conference USA, Mountain West, Sun Belt, MAC Conference. Like I had a lot of group of 5 schools that offered me, but I didn't really have a lot of, like, you know, your Power 5, Power 4 now, but Power 5, like, you know, like SECs, a lot of ACCs, your Big Tens, your Pac-12s. I ain't have a lot of that. So,
well, listen, man, it don't take but one. I want to know, what are some of the challenges that comes along with balancing college? Not only just college, football practice, having the obligations for football and your own personal life. Tell us, like, what are some of the challenges around balancing all those things?
Man, the crazy thing about it, man, of course, like, with everything that you do in your life, man, there's always going to be that learning period. That's going to be that introduction period that you have with everything that you do, whether that's getting a new job or you're moving to a new place, even that you're getting like something new, like a new car, a new phone. Like, you got to like realize what you're working with. So now that when you move forward, like, you're pretty experienced. And so that's how I would like to say that college is, it's a new change. It's a different point of your life now. Like, you put your high school ways behind you. You go into a new school, you're going to a new location, you're going to a bigger school, a lot more diversity, a lot more extracurriculars, a lot more sports, a lot more people, it's a lot more stuff going on. And I think the biggest change for me was the time management part, and just like holding myself accountable to a lot of different things. Like, it's like, I've never been a guy to slack off. I've never been a guy to be lazy. I've never been a guy to, not do what he was supposed to do. Like, I've never been that type of person. But it's just like, when you're balancing school, academic, extracurriculars, your social life, like, it can be a lot. It really can. And this is not to like defer anybody away from if they have dreams of going to college or being a student athlete or a collegiate athlete. It's just like, this is not a way of me deterring you away from that, because it's a great experience. I love my experience. Of course, with life and how it is, just like, there's going to be some good things, some bad things that you do here, some things you would do different, some things you would keep the same. But it's just like, I love my experience, but it's just like, with everything, it's a new experience. It's something that you have to get used to. And time management was definitely something that I had to really own myself on, because it's just like, if you lose track of time, man, like, you can miss an assignment. You cannot like watch film study that you should have watched. You could have, use your time wisely in other different areas, other different aspects of your time here. But I'll probably say that was the biggest change, and just like in life of how I need to be as well. It's just like, time management doesn't start and stop in college. It goes on for however long you want to do whatever occupation that you decide to do, whatever your goal is to do. So it's just like, that's just something that I really I needed to take ownership on. And that's something that I was kind of like, I want to say it's something that I struggled with, but that was a huge change. That was a huge challenge.
What advice would you give to a young kid that might be middle school right now, or even in high school, but has aspirations? And I know you talked about the balancing of college, personal life, and football and playing sports. It might not even be football. It could be, a young lady or a young man that want to actually go for academic.
Yeah, man. The biggest thing I'll probably say is just because the goals are delayed, that doesn't mean the goals are diminished. I feel like right now in this day and age, it's just like, we are very powered by social media. We're powered by comparison. And like, you've heard this line before. It's like, comparison is the thief of joy. But the thing is like, well, how social media is, everybody's putting their best foot forward. Everybody's putting their best fits. Everybody's putting their best product. Everybody's putting their best everything on social media. So now everybody's like, I want to be like that person. I want to be like that guy, that girl, that couple, that this. Like, everybody wants to be that. But like I said, comparison can steal a lot of happiness and joy away from you. So we really live in this microwave generation where it's like, if we want results, we want it right now. And so it's just like, with student athletes, man, and the crazy thing is, it doesn't even have to just, be a spotlight on student athletes. Like, it can be students, it could be just people in general, jobs, stuff like that. Like, just because your goals that you have for yourself, just because they're not accomplished in that moment, in that time, in that specific part of your life that you wanted accomplished, just because it didn't happen at that moment, that doesn't mean it's never going to happen. Because it's just like, with me, it's like, I've had goals each and every year that I've played sports. And I mean, like, I'm talking about like in high school going into college. Like, I've had goals that reset each and every year, because each and every year was different. And there's a lot of goals that I knocked out, and there's some on there that I haven't got to yet. But the thing is, it's just like, that doesn't mean that it's never going to happen. It's just that God is shaping it to be something else in a different facet of your life. And that means it's just not your season yet. That doesn't mean that you're never going to receive it. It's just that it's not your season. And so, like that's just something that I would preach to a lot of, younger athletes, younger students, just the youth in general, man. Just because your goals are delayed, that doesn't mean they are diminished. You're gonna get to those goals if you are doing what you're supposed to do. There's gonna be some things along the way that you have to do right. And there's gonna be some people that's that's probably gonna take you away from these types of things. And I'm not saying to like cut everybody off. That's not what I'm saying. But it's just like, there's gonna be some people, there's gonna be some habits, there's gonna be some things that you're gonna have to take away in order for you to really achieve the goals that you want to do. But on the other end of the coin, there's also going to be some people that you're going to be having in your life that's going to influence you, that's going to encourage you, that's going to impact you. There's going to be some habits that you're going to pick up that's going to be great for you. And there's going to be a lot of great moments to where now you can start to see your progression. And now that you see the progression, now you're going to start falling in love with the process. And so that's something that I would preach to our youth now.
Man, that is awesome. Just because your goals are delayed doesn't mean that they're diminished. That's a quote to put on your wall, young men, young women, young student athletes who might be watching this. Who are some of the coaches, mentors, family members? I know you talked about your mom and dad earlier, friends that have influenced you into developing, being the man that you are today, and how important it is for these young men, young women, young athletes that may be watching to have these types of people in your life for that support.
Man, the amount of people that has poured into my life, man, and still continuously pouring in my life, man, that's a long list of people. But, just like coaches that I've had, friends that I've had, man, and I'm talking about just coaches in high school. The first person I think of in high school, the first people that I think of is Coach Dickerson and Coach Don McCord, man. Those are guys that has really, constantly checked up on me, making sure that I was all good, man. And just like, they have been great. They coached me while I was there. And, they've always been those guys. They know my people as well. And so they just always been guys. And of course, like my FCA director, Chad Posey, he's been a great guy for me while I was there. You got so many people. You got Bishop Danny Hughes, you got Sister George, you got all these different people. Man, I'm telling you, there's like so many people that have poured into my life at home, at UNC. Like, it's just like, I could name everything. Like, just like, I'm going to stick to the friend standpoint, because it's just like, these are the people that I talk to more and more every single day than I will to these people, because I don't really see them as much anymore. But it's just like, no love is lost. But it's just like, these are people that resonate more with what I had going on, more so than they did. But they still poured into me, and these guys do the same exact thing. But, my roommates here, they used to be my roommates. Now they, like I said, they transferred, they moved on. But Elijah Green, Jalen Brooks, Chris Holiday, those are my first roommates while I got here. And Jaquarius Conley, he was also one of those guys as well that really poured into me, still check up on me to this day. You got guys that back at home, JT, he's one of them for sure. Jordan Lay, Aquarius Bowman, Tykevis, Tyler Rucker, those are guys that they just been, just really pouring into me. Like just Keon Flowers, they have just been guys that like, those have been my friends for a very, very long period of time. And it's just like, they constantly pour into me, making sure that I'm okay and stuff like that. And of course, like the coaches that I have now, the position group that I'm in with right now, just like guys like that, man, they have just been tremendous people in my life that has constantly supported me, mentoring me as well. And I say right now, the biggest mentor I have in my life is definitely Mitch Mason, our team chaplain. He's just been a guy that he's like, I see him as like another dad, another uncle, another older brother, another friend, another mentor. Just like, he's just like so many things put into one put into one guy that like God has put in my life. And just like, he has ministered to me. He has poured life into me. He has encouraged me. He has uplifted me. And it's just like, even when him dealing with his own personal issues, he still finds time to pour into not only me, but to the other 90 plus people that we have on the team, on the staff, faculty members, doesn't matter. And so it's just like guys like my friends that I just mentioned, the guys that's poured into me while I was back in Hart County, and the people that poured into me at UNC and Mitch Mason, just like guys like them, and they have worked tremendous wonders in my life. And I am truly, truly, truly blessed and grateful and thankful for them to be in my life, and that God has put them in a special place in my heart.
Man, that's awesome, man. And you know, that's a good way to for these kids to understand having people around you that can help support you, uplift you. You know, I'm not trying to preach to the choir here, but the first thing God said to Adam is not good for man to be alone. So
Mhm.
we definitely need people around us to help us through and navigate life, man. And having those people are very important. If you would have to put something on this, like what would be your biggest adversity that you faced thus far in college? And if I'm not mistaken, you in your fifth year in college right now, right? Okay,
Sure.
so what would be your biggest adversity that you faced so far this year? Something that you've had to overcome.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I had to overcome this year was I had a couple of procedures done to my body. I messed up my finger last season, had surgery on it, and also had surgery on my knee a month and some change ago. And this was the most procedures I've had done in a year. And this was also the year that I missed a lot of, like, this is the most time that I've been away from football as well. I missed about a month of action. I missed 5 games. And you know, it was a different feeling, you know, and that was a lot of adversity. I mean, like, God has really been working with me throughout my years here, because it's like I've had an injury my sophomore year, I had a surgery done to where I was out for 6 months. And in that moment in time, I was really in a dark place at that time. And I was like, I made a vow to myself. I talked to God. I was just like, we are never, ever going to be in that place again, no matter how hard something is, no matter how bad the procedure is, no matter how bad the injury is, or no matter how bad life is going to be around me. We're never going to be in this place again. We have to be with God in this situation. And so when I had these procedures done, you know, it's not fun to have surgery. It's not fun to be hurt. It's not fun to be injured. But it's just like, you know, it was, and I'm not gonna just sit up here and act like everything was perfectly fine. I was smiling every single day. I've had those moments, but God has brought me out of those moments very quicker, a lot more quicker than I used to be back when I was a sophomore. And so, you know, that was a lot of adversity. I'm not out there with the fellas, not practicing, I'm not playing, I'm not working out as I want to, I'm not doing the workouts that I want to do. And, you know, it was a hard time, but it was just like, you know, like I said, it was just like there was a point in time where I mentally and physically couldn't have gotten over myself in that situation when I was younger. But God has really opened my eyes and allowed me to be more at peace where I'm at, to be like more present in the moment, just to understand, just enjoying the process, seeing the progression each and every day, just knowing that each and every day I was getting better. The swelling in my knee was going down. I was getting more strength in my knee as time was going on. I was just like recovering well. My body felt good. And it was just like, you know, it was just like you just start seeing the foundation get built up and up and up and up until you start to see the full tower that God has really wanted for you to see. And so, you know, I was just, you know, that was the biggest adversity that I've had to face, but it was also the biggest blessing as well, because it really tried my faith. And I feel like that was something that I needed to work on, was getting my faith put into action. And, you know, I think it really was. And it showed that even regardless of my adversity, that I really had a lot of faith in Jesus, and as I should have been. But it was like, where it's just like that really showed that regardless of what was going on, the good, the bad, the ugly, I don't just have faith in God when things go good. I have faith in God when things went bad as well.
Man, that's awesome, man. And what a way to come back after your injury, man. You come back in a big way, my guy. 8 tackles, 5 solos, 3 sacks, 3.5 TFLs, and your first career pick. Man, I know we talked about it a little bit, man, but just tell the people like how it felt to have that career day in the South's oldest rivalry, man. Virginia went to their house and really took over. Put your feet up on their couch, told them to go get you a sandwich, you know what I'm saying? And say, hey, man, take this 41-14 belt whipping, man. Tell me how I feel to have that career day this last Saturday, my guy.
Oh, man, that was a great game, man. And not only just for me, but it was just a great game. Like, the vibes were different on that sideline that day. And I think, you know, like, if you've been keeping up with UNC football, we haven't had the best 4 games. We were on a 4-game losing streak. So it's just like, and then we lost to Georgia Tech before going in the off week. And then, like, in the off week, we were just like, man, we got to turn this thing around. This is genuinely like we need to click the reset button on this. And so because it's like, this is the stint of the year where it's just like, now we're fighting to be in a bowl game, and so it's just like for us, we really wanted to, that's that like the standard that we have set for ourselves, where it's like we got to just win out. We got to win each and every game, focus on each and every game. It's not us versus the opponent, it's us versus us. Like it's just us in the mirror going against the only person that's holding us back is ourselves. And so, this game was just really like we can be as great as much as we can be, it's just like as much as we can allow ourselves to be. And we showed that we can be a great team when we have everything going together. And, it was just fun, man. It was having fun while we were playing. It was fun in the pregame. It was fun after the fact. And yeah, man, that was just a great moment. It was a great game all the way around, and it was just a great time with the fellas, man.
If I'm not mistaken, man, it's over 130 plus D1 schools that in the FBS, if I'm not mistaken. Now you have the luxury of playing for one of 3 active national championship coaches. Now, how does it feel to be able to walk in a facility and being coached by a coach along with Kirby Smart and Dabo Swinney at Clemson, to have a coach that has won a national championship? How does it feel, and what are some of the things that Coach Brown has instilled into you and others that you like, man, this is a guy right here. This is a true Hall of Famer for sure.
Yeah, man. Being coached by Coach Brown, man, he's like a granddad for our team, man. And I'm not just saying that just to say that. He genuinely is like one of those guys where it's just like how your granddads are. They constantly check up on you, make sure that you're good and stuff like that, and just like cares more about your well-being than anything else, more than the football aspect. And just like one of the things he's taught us, man, is just how to push through the adversity, no matter how hard things get. And just fight, like pushing through. Like my motto, I like to say, keep chopping. And one of the mottos of one of my former teammates, unfortunately, he passed away recently, but Tylee Craft, he also used to say, keep swinging. And so it's just like, he would just like, just having those in the mind, like preaching these points is just like to keep going, keep swinging, just chopping the tree down, and just like, no matter how hard things get, no matter how things are going to be looking from the outside looking in, there's always going to be outside noise. But, just pushing through the adversity, put the earmuffs on, man, and just keep pushing and doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Man, that's awesome, man. Speaking of Coach Brown, I got a question for you, man. So if I was to pick up the phone and I call Coach Brown right now, and I say, hey, Coach Brown, tell me Kaimon's biggest strength or his greatest strength, what would Coach Brown say? Not what would Kaimon say. I want to know what would Coach Brown tell me.
I think he would probably say just like how genuine I am, just like, like how much of a great person that I am. Cause it's just like from his perspective, it's just like, I'm very selfless. I do things for the team. I'm a team player. I, just make sure everybody's okay. I'm a giving person. I like to give back to people that have done so much great things to not only for me, but for the university and for our football team. Like, I'll probably say just my genuineness, my selflessness. I think that's probably some points he would talk about. I don't really like, it's kind of hard to say what would somebody say about you. And, but I mean, like, I'll say this, it would be nothing bad, like it ain't gonna be nothing bad in that aspect, but I don't know. I'll probably say my selflessness. I'll narrow it down to selflessness.
Well, listen, man, I can tell we've been on this podcast for about 38 minutes now, man. And anybody that's listening to 2 minutes of this can understand the type of person you are, the selflessness that you just talked about, the putting the team first. I asked you a question earlier. Would you rather have a great individual season or win a natty? You no hesitation. We getting that natty, you know what I'm saying? So it's definitely something that's been instilled into you, and definitely some characteristics of God that's just shining like a light, my guy. And man, I'm telling you, man, it's just all over you. I do got one more question for you though, my guy. Can I get this last one in? And this is my own personal question. I had to ask this, man. So listen, how did the nickname Ruck the Butcher come about? I need to know that, man. And I need some gear too, man. I need some gear. And I'm buying me a Kaimon Rucker jersey, and I need your signature, my guy. And I'm gonna put it right there behind me, and I'm gonna hang it up. So, but anyway, how did the Ruck the Butcher nickname came about? Talk to me.
Yeah, nah. So it was when was my freshman year. We went to Boston College, and around that time it was like COVID was still a thing and stuff like that. So it was just like it wasn't a lot of people there. It was just like honestly it felt like a scrimmage. And so we went up there, and I think it was I was in tackle for loss in that moment, and I made another play prior to that, I think. And the announcers were talking about me, and it was just like. And my D-line coach at the time, he was saying that I was as aggressive as a rolling ball of butcher knives. And the announcers at the time were just like, man, that's a great way to describe a defensive lineman, da-da-da-da-da. And so, my dad, he's watching the game on TV and stuff. He's like, you heard what they said about you? And I'm like, nah, what'd they say? And he sent me the clip, and I was just like, dang, I've never been described like that before. And like NIL, there was a lot of reports, stuff going around talking about the NIL name, image, and likeness being used in college football, players being paid, obviously. And just like that was still being a thing. So he was like, man, once this come around, if they pass this thing, we might need to work with it. And I was just like, all right, that's cool, that's whatever. And so NIL finally got passed through. And then, we was like, what are we going to say? We was like, we're going to shoot, Ruck the Butcher, whatever you want to consider it. And I was like, all right, that's fine with me. I ain't never really been, like, called. This is something different, It's just like I've been called Ruck. I've been called, like my normal name, K Smooth, whatever the case may have been. So, like, this was definitely a field left nickname for me. And, it just took off after that, just having my own brand, having my own merch and stuff, shirts, all this other kind of stuff, just having like shortening it down to Ruck the Butcher and stuff like that. It was just, that's really how it came about. And, that's something that I've been running with for going on 5 years now.
Man, that's awesome, man. So tell the people, man, where can we get some of this merch at? Where can we go get some Ruck the Butcher t-shirts, maybe some hats, a jersey or something, man? Plug your stuff, man. I know you selfless, man, but go ahead and let everybody know where we can go in and go ahead and contribute, man. You know what I mean? So, man, I definitely want to get me some. So I need the link. If you just want to give it to me, man, but give it to the people, my guy. Man, let them know what we need to find our stuff at, man.
Nah, I got you. So we have my own personal stuff, my own like stuff that is involved with like, me, Peach State Media and all this other kind of stuff alongside with Greg Gaines. If you want to get with that is at the Champions Locker Room, and you just go to the site www.championslockerroom.com, search for my name. All my stuff is on there. The updated Ruck the Butcher logo and stuff like that is also on there, as well as my throwback stuff. If you're feeling exotic, my old 25 stuff on there. So now we got the number 7 on there and some other stuff, a good little, like I said, a remodel of my logo. And then if you want to just like, support me and the university as well, you got the UNC NIL shop, www.uncnilshop.com. And then you're also going to see sweatshirts, t-shirts on there with my design on there and stuff like that. So I'm definitely going to share those links to you to get it out to some other people. But they're also in my Instagram at Ruck the Butcher. That's in my link tree. You can click on the link in there to get it and stuff like that. All of it's going to be underneath. And yeah, that's pretty much how you get that kind of stuff.
Man, we definitely going to link all of that, all of the websites. Y'all go get your merch, man. Man, I'm talking with one of the best young men I've ever talked to, man. I'm very impressed with you, my guy. I'm going to be honest with you. You made it very, very hard for somebody to come behind you on the press conference. I just want to let you know, man. You made it hard, man. So somebody got to follow you, man. This is going to be crazy, man. But my guy, man, I thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule, man, for stopping by at the press conference, chopping it up with your boy, Lundy Boy, man. Man, it's been a pleasure, my guy, man. I really appreciate it, man. Keep doing what you do, man. I really mean this, man. Keep doing what you do. You're being an example for young men, young women out there, and exactly what we need for this generation, man. And for you to be, I say as young as you are, man, I ain't saying it in a bad way or a condescending way, but you're a young man with your head on straight, doing the right things. trying to point yourself in the right direction, man. And I'm very impressed with you. Your mother, your father, your friends, your mentors, your coaches, everybody close to you should be very proud. Y'all should be proud of my boy Kaimon Rucker, a.k.a. Ruck the Butcher. We're going to get the gear. Hey, man, you've got a new fan in me, my guy. I ain't even going to lie. Got to check you out even more. Man, it is such a pleasure, my guy. For real, man. Salute to you, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me on. It was a pleasure, and it was a lot of fun.